Everybody ready? Call the January 9th, 2025 Planning Commission to order. Happy New Year to everybody. And we do have a quorum today. And review of minutes, Mr. Simileski.
I move that the minutes be approved as submitted.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The minutes are approved. We have no rezoning request, subdivision applications request, prelim plan Avondale West Phase 2. You tackling that, Mr. Silverberg?
Yes, Mr. Chair. This subdivision is proposed as Phase 2 of a Phase 3 single-family residential subdivision. Phase 1 was approved back in May 2023 and is currently under construction. The property was zoned to R1 in 2006. This proposed Phase 2 includes 143 new single-family lots with associated infrastructure and open space on about 95.92 acres. The proposed layout and lots meet the requirements of the R1 district under the cluster subdivision standards as certified by the engineer of record and reviewed by staff. There's a large 35.65 acre passive open space at the end. I'm showing it here on one of their conceptual plans. This area will be passive and include a nature trail as part of this phase. We did have them update the traffic impact analysis. The previous one had some numbers off, and they came in and updated that to ensure that our county transportation manager could approve the timing of their phasing so that they make sure they get all their turn lanes and everything done appropriately. So they've done that, and she has approved that. Further on the subdivision, water, sewer, and roads are going to be dedicated for public maintenance, whereas the HOA is going to maintain the lots, which include their amenities, ponds, and wetlands. We're recommending approval of the preliminary plan, just adding the conditions for final approval from Public Works, Water and Sewer, and Planning and Zoning. Just want to make sure I add that in case there's any Ts to cross and Is to dot before we stamp the final preliminary plan. So,
Okay. Commissioners, questions for staff?
Mr. Chairman, if I may recuse myself due to my employer's involvement with the project.
Okay. Thomas and Hutton here. Come on up, please. Name and address and answer any questions.
Hi, I'm Anna Claire Saunders. You said address? 207 Parkwood, Vista Way, Somerville, South Carolina.
Okay.
Just a question, ma'am. Do these lots, are these the septic tank lots or the sewer lots? Or
Sewer.
they do have sanitary, is this the town of Ridgeville or, the sewer comes from there, or is it county sewer, I guess?
This is county.
County, okay. All right, good.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve in accordance with the conditions in the recommendation.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The preliminary plan is approved. Street names. Who comes up with these? We have Fish Crow Lane, Sedge Wren Way. Say that 20 times real quick. Sora Swamp Way and Tatler Road. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion on the names? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The names are approved. Old business, we have none. New business, we have a cul-de-sac length issue again.
Yes, so as y'all know, Article 22 of Ordinance 0413 provides that in instances where the Planning Commission finds that the strict application of the requirements of Articles 20 and 21 of the land development regulations would result in extreme practical difficulties, they may modify such requirements subject to several criteria. The applicant in this instance is requesting a modification from Table 20.4.2, which provides a maximum cul-de-sac length of 250 feet for roads with less than 1,000 average daily trips. The proposed development is a 10-lot minor subdivision with a new road, which will have an estimated ADT of 100. In review of the preliminary plan of the proposed development, it was noted that the proposed road exceeded the maximum cul-de-sac length allowance. While a preliminary plan for a minor subdivision is done administratively and it would not come to the planning commission, a request for modification does require approval from the planning commission. The applicant has not finalized the design of the development, but is requesting the modification at this point in the process, as the outcome of y'all's decision will inform overall design of the development. The applicant did submit a recent iteration of the proposed plan. Again, it's more for conceptual purposes at this time. And staff notes that approval of this modification request does not constitute approval of the preliminary plan, and the plan will have to continue to move through the TRC process and be reviewed for compliance with all other applicable codes, ordinances, et cetera. In reviewing this request, staff provides the following findings. The modification will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the county. The modification will not adversely affect the reasonable development of adjacent property. The modification may be considered justified as there are topographic and other special conditions, including the shape of the property and wetlands to the north that are unique to the property and prevent development in compliance with the code. The justification does not necessarily generally apply to similar developments that meet the standards of which the modification is sought, as similarly sized lots in the area are not necessarily encumbered by wetlands or shaped in such a way so as to necessitate a long cul-de-sac. And the modification is consistent with the objectives of the ordinance and would not have the effect of nullifying the intent or purpose of the ordinance, as it would allow for the by right subdivision of lots that meet all other required standards. Based on those findings, staff finds that the application meets the requirements for a modification. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the cul-de-sac to exceed the maximum, but only up to 500 feet.
Comments or questions from commissioners?
Just a question, how large are these lots? It's hard for me to read these plats.
Yes, let me pull it up here for you. They're relatively large, so the minimum lot size in this property is zoned R1. So the minimum lot size in R1 is going to be 14,500 square feet.
Right.
So they're going to be a little bit on the larger side.
Some of them look like they're around 40,000 square feet.
Yeah, they look like maybe 1 acre lots. I'm just curious.
Yeah, some of them are quite large.
And are these septic tank or sewer, do we know?
These would be, I believe, sewer, but the engineer is here and he might be able to answer some of those questions.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions?
What does, emergency services, have they seen it,
Their review is a part of preliminary plan review. At this point, I haven't heard anything from them, but we can certainly reach out. But they are a reviewer on this project.
The question that I have is in regard to that existing ingress egress that runs through the parcel to the adjacent parcel. Does it have access to, what is that, butternut?
Yes, so that, the arrangement of that easement is still in process. Again, this plan is not the finalized plan at this point. Right now, the applicant is simply requesting modification from the maximum cul-de-sac length in order to accommodate a cul-de-sac long enough to essentially reach this parcel so that it can have access. And as I understand it, they are still working with this property owner here in order to help them maintain access. All of that will have to be done prior to approval of this plan.
Right, okay, thank you.
Is the applicant here? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Donato. I'm with SiteCast. We're the engineer on the project. First off, I want to thank staff. I've known these two young ladies for a while, and they do a fantastic job, so we appreciate all their help. Mr. Ackerman, to your point, the parcel that is using the easement that is currently on that plat is also owned by this same developer. And so the plan is to switch their easement to the public road at that time. So that, that should solve that issue. The other, if you can see that little parcel there, that actually, and I'll verify this with our lawyers, they actually are not part of the right to use that access easement. That access easement was put in for dash 014. But the owner of dash 172 is also the same owner of dash 075, and they have access to Butternut. But we'll make certain we're clear with that when we resubmit to TRC. And sir, Mr. Pratt, to your question, this is public water, but this is septic tank. And most of the lots are, I think the smallest is 18,000 square feet and the largest is close to an acre.
Thank you.
And you got a septic tank on 18,000 square feet?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Public water, you said?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Engineered or,
We don't have all the tests back yet. I would think the bigger lots probably are not engineered, but the smaller ones would probably be engineered. But that's me I'm not a septic tank designer, but just from experience, that's generally
correct.
how it works.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. East Edisto Pump Station.
I will take this one. This is another one of these utility special district plans that we're bringing before you. So this is not at the permit stage. We're not looking to build the pump station at this time, but just approve the special district, which allows the pump station. This is for the phase 4 or corner 4 of Homecoming, which is the one down Delmar Highway. It's down 165. The one side of 165 is currently under construction. This will follow. So we have a community plan that we're looking at for corner 4, and then outlined in this little orange is where they'll have the utility special district, and the purpose of that is for a pump station. So the special district requirements for pump station is fairly minimal. What we've seen, the plans comply with everything. It's just like all the other ones that we've done. We've seen a number of pump stations in a number of these subdivisions out here in East Edisto. So we've looked at it, complies with all of our regulations. We're recommending approval.
Okay. Commissioners? Questions, comments? Motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. And I'm going to pass the gavel here to Mr. Simileski, and I will give the report on the nominating committee, which consisted of me, Ms. Kunda, and Mr. Pratt. And we met, and our recommendation out of the nominating committee is Mr. Simileski for chairman for 2025, and Mr. Josh Ayers for vice chairman. So I would ask now, that's the report from the committee. Gavel back. Now, as chairman, any further nominations? I'd entertain a motion to close the nominations.
Make a motion to approve.
A second.
I have a motion and a second to close the nominations. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we have a motion on the table from the nominating committee, so a second is not required to nominate chairman and vice chairman for calendar year 2025. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, duly elected. Now I'm going to give the gavel permanently to you. Thank you very much, both of you, for volunteering to do this. And I'd just like to say thanks to staff for all their help over the years that I've been doing this. It's made my job really easy. You guys are truly professionals, and I don't think you get the credit you deserve sometimes. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That's much appreciated. You have been very easy to work for and with, and you keep a good meeting going. So we appreciate that.
And I thank you for your years as chairman. And I've got a lot to learn.
You got,
Leaning on two people I know that have been in this chair before.
you got some big shoes to fill right there, Rich, I'm just telling you, okay? And by the way, we're at 4:15 and we're about at the end of the agenda,
You may have set a
just in
record.
case you're
I
wondering.
know.
Close to it.
There's only one item left, I think. No, do you have a report?
No report.
A report. There's only one item left on the agenda. And it's a motion to adjourn. Do we have one?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Let's do it.
Or adjourn?
Vote with your feet.
Till
Good
next
meeting.